Well, hi everyone, Dave Lynch here from Summerleas Church again, and I'd like to welcome you back to our next episode of Summerleas Sanity. Now, as I've told you before, this little series is all about giving you just some short practical tips on how to look after your mental health through these crazy days of COVID-19. Now, as always, I've got Maria Conway here helping me out. Maria is a long-time member at Summerleas, but she's also a fully accredited counsellor. She's worked as a chaplain at Southern Christian College. She's currently the school counsellor at Farn School here in Hobart, and she runs her own wonderful counselling practice in Kingston. So Maria, thanks for coming back and helping us with this next episode. And today we're actually going to talk about the benefits of helping and serving others. Now, that sounds a bit strange to me because at the moment I'm worried about me, I'm feeling stressed, I'm concerned, I'm worrying about things like whether I've got enough toilet paper, have I got enough food, is my family going to be safe? I tend to be very me-centred. Your thesis is that it's actually good for me not to be so me-centred, but to be a bit more others-centred during this time. Can you tell me why that is?
Yeah, sure, Dave. Thanks for having me. Serving others gives us the opportunity to get outside of ourselves, get outside of some of the negative thought processes that leave us spiraling down and bring us to really negative places. So when you think about times when you were feeling down and you were able to help someone else, it actually did increase your mood. When we're able to step outside ourselves and offer help to others, helping others increases our self-esteem. It helps us to connect with that part of us that God created us to be. We're able to connect with others and be in relationship with them. God served others, and we are able to serve others the way He did when we connect with our friends. Helping others helps us to break that pattern where we're in the constant spiral of negative thinking. It brings us into a positive space where we can feel like what we're doing is meaningful. And it also gives us the opportunity to serve God and connect with Him in that way.
Fantastic. So it sounds like not only is me serving others good for the other person, but it's actually really good for me and can actually really help me stop ruminating, like we talked about in the last episode. Like if I'm there just sort of obsessing about all the bad things, going, hang on, I'm going to pick up the phone and give someone a call or maybe cook for someone or send someone an encouraging email or a letter or something like that. It can actually break that cycle and leave me feeling a whole lot better.
That's right. Every time we connect with others, we access the part of our brain that makes us feel positive and gives us self-esteem and helps us feel like our life is meaningful.
Fantastic. So have you got any practical tips for ways we can do this, Maria? Because it does feel like we're pretty limited at the moment. We're all in self-isolation. I can't go around and visit someone. How do I serve someone in this sort of COVID-19 state of affairs?
Yeah, Dave, you mentioned some of them, and cooking for people and writing letters are great ways that we can support our friends. Some of the ways we can help our friends and actually improve their mental health is by checking in on them. We might not be able to meet face to face, but picking up the phone or having a video call or starting a group chat or messaging someone on social media lets them know that you're there to talk and ready to listen. Because for many of us, it feels very isolating. We feel like we're very limited in our way to communicate with one another. And if we're able to check in on our friends and offer them support and just let them know that we're there to listen, that's very helpful. And then we go and we listen, and we don't just listen, but we listen and reflect. Whether you have a mental health problem or not, this is going to be a challenging time for all of our mental health and well-being. And if somebody opens up to you, remember that you don't need to fix things. Oftentimes, when things feel out of control and we're not sure what's going to happen next, we feel like if we can fix things or control things or offer advice, that will be helpful. But really what we're trying to do is make that other person feel better and help them manage situations that are really not in our control. And in some ways even make ourselves feel better because it's such an unknown and challenging time. Often just listening though and showing them that you care and reflecting on what they say and showing them that you take them seriously can help somebody to manage. Just reflecting back to them what you've heard and asking them how they're feeling about them helps them really know that you're listening. And really, so often people just want to talk. And asking questions. Ask people how they're managing. Ask them again, if you're worried that they aren't sharing the full picture, because we all have a tendency when somebody asks us how we are to say, yep, I'm well, thanks, how are you? But if we're really close with somebody, we can tell sometimes when they're just not really wanting to share the full picture. So if we're able to ask them again how they really are and with interest, that can help somebody to open up and explore what they're feeling. And I guess one of my biggest pieces of advice would be, sometimes when someone that we know and love is not coping very well, we feel helpless and powerless. And sometimes it actually is a bit too big for us to handle. Sometimes people actually do need to talk to somebody like a counselor or a psychologist, or go to their GP for a talk with somebody that has experience talking with people with mental health issues. So I would say, if you're feeling really overwhelmed by some of what your friend is sharing and you've really tried to listen, but it just feels too big for you, offer to call the GP for them, or suggest maybe that they go talk to somebody who might be able to help them work through some of what they're going through. Don't feel like you have to take it all on yourself.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, Maria. There's some really great practical tips that we can use. Yeah, I just really encourage you guys out there to perhaps try some of this stuff, because as we've seen, not only is it going to help each other, and God knows we really need that help and support and connection through this time, but it's also going to be really good for you as well, for your own mental health. So make sure you get out there, serve others as best you can. I know it's hard in this crazy time to do that, but Maria just outlined a few ways that we can have a crack at it. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode of Summerleas Sanity, and we hope you'll be able to join us again next time. See you then.